Good morning everybody, welcome into Spirit of Life Alchemy. Today is Saturday the 24th of June, let me just get comfy, 2023, and this is your morning message tarot reading. So we have some astrology for today. We've got the moon in Virgo all day. It's going to form an opposition to Saturn in Pisces, and then a trine to Jupiter in Taurus. Yay, I get there in the end. So the energy I got for this was about really grounding and anchoring and rooting down your spirituality, to help create benevolence, good luck, good fortune, and so it actually goes out into the world and has some effect as well. So it's all okay while it's all up here. But what we need to do, we need to bring it down, we need to ground it and anchor it into the 3D, and from that then you get this expansion coming up and going the other way. So that's your astrology for today. You might want to meditate on that or whatever spiritual practices you have. Let's do some cards and see what we need to know for today. So let's have the Thoth deck and let's have some Gaia. Feels like it's a while since I've used the Gaia deck. Okay, so let's see, what do we need to know? What do we need to know for Saturday the 24th of June 2023? Messages from Spirit please for the collective. What help, advice, support and guidance can Spirit give the collective to help us navigate today's energies for our highest and greatest good? What do we need to know? Okay, so ocean of eternal love, healing, creativity and fertility. This really feels like that Pisces energy. The moon, our emotions and things like that, in Virgo, making an opposition to Saturn in Pisces. Yeah, just the expansion into our spiritual stuff. What I was saying about the spiritual stuff that we then need to ground. Okay, the next card, oh, the Temptress. Bit of devil energy. Okay. So the Temptress, seduction, deceit, a broken promise, and then the hidden path, the marriage of spirit and matter. So, as I was saying, so the Temptress, is often part of us. It's inside us, a bit like the devil is inside us. And oh, look at my lovely bruise. Tripped over guy ropes at the weekend while we were camping. Banged my arm on our kitchen actually. We have our kitchen under the shade structure. So yeah, look at that. Oh, I never go away somewhere without coming back with a couple of bruises. Dyspraxia. I was actually wearing my boyfriend's sliders, which were about 3 sizes too big for me. And that extra bit where my toes end, but there's still a bit of slider. I tripped over a guy rope walking around the tent at the weekend. Yay! So anyway, what I was saying about the Temptress and the devil tends to be within. It's somewhere where we're not being completely honest with ourselves. We're seducing ourselves with sort of false narratives, little fantasies of how we would love things to be, rather than the truth of how things are. And it's often where we're just not being honest with ourselves somewhere. Or if you said you would do something and then sort of you don't do it. Oh, my red kite's just out, just swirling around, just magnificent. Magnificent, but just the wingspan and everything. Although saying that, driving up through Scotland at the weekend, again, it's like all the different birds of prey and things like that. It was beautiful. Drive and go, oh my God, look, there's bird of prey up there. Luckily the roads were quiet, especially going up there Friday evening once we got sort of, off the main roads. We were just about the only thing out on the roads at 8 o'clock at night. never mind. Anyway, back to the reading, back to the Temptress. So anyway, yeah, so maybe you've said you'd do something, but then you don't. So, right, yeah, that's it. I'm going on a diet now, or I'm, you know, I'm only eating healthily. I'm cutting out the foods that don't agree with me, or I'm not drinking anymore, or, you know, I'm going to get up and exercise every day. And you promise yourself you're going to do these things, this self-improvement, you're going to listen to your body, you're going to do a daily spiritual practice, you're going to journal every day, and then you don't. And it's like, no, it's okay, I'll start tomorrow. And this is me as much as anybody else. I don't think I'm pointing the fingers out there, because the fingers are pointing back at me as well. This is how I know all about it, because, you know, it's holding up the mirror to me as well. So yeah, it's time to get honest with ourselves. It's time for healing. And as we heal ourselves, and as we, you know, sort of show up for ourselves, it brings out our creativity, it brings out our fertility. Things change. When we start showing up for ourselves, the universe notices and things start changing. Finally, look, down there, just got the message. And new paths are revealed to us. The hidden path, you know, it says it's the marriage of spirit and matter, and it bringing your spiritual beliefs, your spiritual path, your spiritual practices, bringing them down into the physical world. And for me, one of the things about the hidden path is it's not doing it anybody else's way. It's about finding your own path. And trusting and going that way. Just because everybody else does it in different ways. You know, that's their path. Do it your own way. Okay, so yeah, we're bringing down that energy, that truth, that healing, and manifesting it truthfully in our own lives. So let's do some tarot and see what we need to know. It's one of those really humid days here today. But overcast, the sun's not really out, just overcast. But it's like, oh, maybe we'll have some storms later. Okay, so what do we need to know for today, Saturday, the 24th of June 2023? Messages from Spirit, please, for the collective. What help, advice, support, and guidance can Spirit give the collective to help us navigate today's energies for our highest and our greatest good? What do we need to know? Just feeling one more. Okay, so let's see. So, oof. Well, there's the Temptress, the Seven of Cups, debauch, the emotional quagmire, Venus in Scorpio. Yeah, that sums up the Temptress, the internal Temptress. Oof. Okay, going into the past, we have the Queen of Cups. The foundation, we have the Sun. And above us, we have the Six of Swords, science. Mercury in Aquarius, finding new innovative ways to do things. And then we have the Moon. Okay, the clarifiers, we've got the Knight of Wands, although in this deck the Knights are the Kings. The King of Wands, the Princess or the Page of Discs, and the Ace of Discs. Nice. And then underneath we've got the Seven of Swords, which is the Moon in Aquarius, futility. Oh, with the Seven of Discs, which is Saturn in Taurus, a failure, and the Four of Swords, Truth, which is Jupiter in Libra. Okay. No, that's it. I've got the message. I've got the message. Okay. Okay, so where we find ourselves. Where are we not being honest with ourselves emotionally? What sort of little like white lies do we tell us? What emotional quagmire are we traipsing through? Hard work, difficult. For me, it feels like when I think about this card and I see it, I get this sense of, we're just like walking through treacle or something. It's all, all the like uncomfortable emotions, and little white lies and things like that we tell ourselves. Shadow, it's like sort of the lower vibrations of Venus, whether that's like a codependency to other people, or jealousy and obsession and things like that, or just where we're not where we're not loving ourselves properly. Okay, so that's where we find ourselves today. Okay, going into the past, we've got the Queen of Cups here, and these two, that sort of expansive water energy. The Queen of Cups for me actually is Scorpio. The Queens are the fixed signs. The water of the sign, if like sort of the kings are the cardinals, are the fire of the elements, and the queens are the fixed, the water, flowing, sort of receptive. There's words I'm looking for and I just can't find them. When you think of sort of all the qualities of the divine feminine energies, that sort of, it's not action orientated, it's the night, it's cold, it's stillness, it's the yin energy, it's being in the void, it's just receptive and open. Okay, so yeah, that's the Queens for me. So the Queen of Cups is fixed water, which is Scorpio. Okay, I'm getting that with this energy up here, this ocean of eternal love. Because the Queen of Cups, she's about emotion, she's about intuition, she's scry, she sees the truth beneath the surface. She sees and is connected deeply with the collective, the all-knowing. Okay. And the message I'm getting is like, it's the truth of the situation. But we've moved away from that into like falsehoods and deception and seduction to ourselves, to make ourselves feel comfortable, rather than sort of facing sort of the truth of a situation. Okay, but it's also in these deep waters that we find the truth. Even in the Seven of Cups, that sort of, we plunge to the bottom of the well, we plunge deep into the quagmire to find the treasure to come up. And Scorpio, remember, the energy of Scorpio, dives deep under the surface into the subconscious to find the treasure, and then to emerge triumphantly like the phoenix rising at the end with the prize. Okay, so sort of although we're in this sticky situation, and it does feel sticky, this card, and mingy, and so it's where we are in ourselves in that type of metaphor. but we're diving deep, we're leaving behind the comfort of other people to find our hidden path. Okay, so to our foundation, the sun, our true core identity, our authentic being, our light within, our consciousness, our happiness, joy, sort of what gives us pleasure, what makes us happy, gratitude, so this is what we're looking for at the bottom of the well. Okay, and connecting to that core identity of ourselves, so that we can shine out into the world. And how we do that, the support we get for that is with the Six of Swords. Now the Six of Swords often, you see the figures in the boat being helped away towards calmer waters. In this deck it's called Science. And when I turn this card over, the image that I got is, when we're caught up in these negative stories, old mindsets and things like that, when we're doing the healing work, sometimes we do all the shadow work into the subconscious, and we meet the shadow selves and things like that, and we hold the conversations and but after that, it still takes time to integrate the new pattern. And each time we catch ourselves falling back into this, then we need to use this to go, oh God, no, stop that. It's like, that's not true. I know that's not true. You're holding me captive. You're a fear that comes from, my childhood or whatever. And we have to use the logic and the rationality of going, remember we've been into this. Okay, and it's like, why are you, and then start, why are you coming up now? What are you here to teach me, etc., etc. And it's a gradual process often of just changing that behaviour. And even if you're doing like healing techniques, breath work, vagal nerve stuff, belief coding, emotion coding, anything like that, you do the practice, you uncover the triggers, you do, whatever comes up, comes up. But then sort of, it shows you the truth. It shows the new, what the old belief was and how it was holding you captive and where it came from and what it needs. And, sort of there's a billion techniques that we can do to do that. Okay. But then once we see this, once you know that like your shoulder pain is because it's exhausted, because it's your right arm and it's the arm that goes out and does the work and earns the money and leads you into through life in your work environment, but it's bloody exhausted, it's had enough, it needs a rest. Okay, you still have to give it the rest. When you've uncovered old beliefs, when you do the transformation, when you see the triggers, then it's like each time you find yourself slipping back into an old belief or something, or an anxiety coming up, or a fear or something, or it's like, oh yeah, see it, I'm doing that again. Then it's like reminding ourselves and using the logic to go, yeah, that's a deceit, that's a broken promise, that's not true. And it's gradually over time, after doing the work, that you gradually ingrain the new behaviour, the new beliefs, the truth into yourself. And so that's how I'm seeing that today. The other thing I noticed when I was just talking all that, I've noticed we've got 3 sevens out. We've got the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, and just here, 3 cards down, was the 7 of Wands. But I don't, these aren't part of the story. So it's there, the 4th 7 is there, it's just not the right, it's not coming up yet. Okay, although that might change by the end when I get to the end of this story. Okay, I just got to the point of the healing. So anyway, that's what we're doing. And then we're moving into the moon. So the moon is the cyclic nature. Okay, so again, when we're doing the work of healing this and connecting to our core self, and you know, going, oh, I see you now, I know what you're doing, this is a different way now, I'm going to imply, you know, do communicate and have new information, use it in a new innovative way. Mercury in Aquarius. Then we come to the moon, and the moon card for today is reminding us that sort of, you know, just because you face this deceit once, this seduction once, it's not out. We have good days and good hours, and everything will be going fine, and then something will come up, and we'll risk sliding back into this, and that's when we employ this to keep us emotionally balanced and not sink back into old behaviours. We give ourselves the pep talk, and we come back to our light, come back to everything that we know, and we transverse that threat, that space that was a bit of a risk that could have knocked us back. Okay, and I think that is the hidden path as well. So we don't know from one day to the next, know sort of what's coming up, where we're going to go. And we live in the moment, and we track through things. Okay, and by doing this, we reclaim our power. The King of Wands, Cardinal Fire, Aries energy. I am the leader. I am the pioneer. I am innovative. You know, all those I am courageous, I am, you know, taking that I am is taking back and reclaiming that sense of self, that sense of sun. Okay, both in the solar plexus and right down in the root chakra. In fact, all three of those lower chakras, even sort of the sacral, which is more feminine, once we have that sense of self and we're fired up, we've taken our power back, okay, then, you know, sort of we're out on our path. But we're in the transition phase at the moment. We're doing the work still, because the next two cards, we've got the Princess of Discs and the Ace of Discs. Now, in this Princess of Discs card, Page of Discs, Page of Pentacles in other cards, we've got this warrior princess, and she's heavily pregnant. Patience. We're preparing for birth. The birth of the new. It's not quite right. We're still doing the work. Okay. So we're doing that, but it's going. If we continue to do the work, we'll birth the new parts of ourselves, birth the new world, the new earth. Birth whatever it is that you're birthing, the creativity, the fertility, then it brings in new opportunities to, you know, a new start, a new chapter, a new beginning somewhere in your life. So that's what's going on consciously. What's going on subconsciously? We've got, again, we're still overcoming the sevens. Okay, so we had debauch, the emotional quagmire, where we are consciously, subconsciously. We've got the Seven of Swords, futility, moon in Aquarius, and we've got the big sword of truth coming up the middle. We've seen the truth. We've seen what's going. It's but we're still in the sevens. We're still here. We've got all the distractions, all the critical voice on your shoulder, all the self-doubt and things like that. And you really have to hold yourself strong to actually work your way through that in the truth. Okay, and at times it's going to be really difficult. Seven of Discs, failure. Saturn in Taurus, it can feel really slow and heavy, and if you like, you're trudging. It's like the treacle getting thicker and turning into some sort of set caramel or something, you know. At times really trudging through it, and you might feel like you want to give up. And this is where we get to the bottom, you know, in the moon card, when we get to the bottoms here, and we risk getting stuck here in the depression, in the giving up and the failure and everything. Transformation and evolution and even ascension, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. It's a lot of hard work, and it's messy, and it's dirty, and it's sweat, blood and tears a lot of the time. And sometimes it's really hard to just keep going on. Nice joyful message for today, for your weekend. But the message from that is take a rest where you need to. The Four of Swords, truce. This is Jupiter in Libra. Okay. Balance and freedom and justice. And yeah, if we what's the word I'm looking for? Self-care, nurture, look after ourselves, have compassion for ourselves, and that continued care for ourselves, we will get justice and freedom. But so, you know, sometimes we have to retreat from our brains. Sometimes we have to retreat from our emotions and I just need time out for the moment. I just need to gather myself again before I can continue on. Okay, and that's the journey. It's not a straight line from A to B. It's not even like that. Sometimes, tell you what, I don't know if people remember cartoon and books called The Mr. Men and the Little Misses. Mr. Messy. That feels like what my journey through life has been, that the squiggles just going all over the place. It's just chaotic, and occasionally I get to a point B and it's like, oh, blimey, I've made it. And it's like, oh, right, what have we got to do next? What's the next step? And then it starts all over again and you're in the chaos again, and it's like, and you just come back to things like the Queen of Cups, come back to the Sun, come back to the logic as well at times. Trust yourself, draw your power back, find your own path, as well as connect to the collective. Okay, so, and retreat, take care of yourself, do the healing when you need to. And just one last message about the sevens is, you know, everything changes. In the I Ching, it talks about sort of the false dragons and things like that. Sometimes like waves, sort of in the first wave, the biggest false dragon will sort of knock you over. He's scrabbling around in sort of the surf and everything, and you come up. And then sort of the second wave isn't as big, and then the third wave is smaller than that. And, you know, gradually, as you get stronger in yourself, coming back to the King of Wands here, then the false dragons, the waves get smaller and smaller until you can actually sort of, you know, stand strong no matter what comes at you. Like, it's like, I've seen that fear. Oh yeah, I've seen that, and gradually those fears, they just fall away, and you know, the next lot come up. It's like when you're learning something new, first of all you haven't a clue, I can do this, and then you soon realise it's like, oh my god, I've not got a clue what I'm doing. And you know, and the fear rises, and then you take the next step and you're like, okay, I did that little bit, okay, and it's like, and it's that constant learning. Okay, eventually, you know, we do get there. So anyway, yeah, I am going to take these now, just as a little afterword. So yeah, after the Four of Swords, we've got the Two of Discs. Again Jupiter, but this time Jupiter in Capricorn, and it's like we can be backwards and forwards and inside. I can do this. Oh no, I can't. Oh yes, I can. And it's that, you know, sort of in those uncertain times when we're doing something new, we can be very much back and forth. Then we get the Prince of Wands, the Knight of Wands, having that determination. The Knights for me are the mutable signs, mutable fire, Sagittarius. You know, we've got that vision, we've got that goal, we've got that focus, we know where we want to go. And sometimes we just have to set that intention and then work our way through all the steps to get there. Okay. And the 4-7 is out. Standing up for yourself. Standing strong. It's called Valor in this deck, and it's Mars in Leo. and it can be, you may have won this battle, but know that the war isn't over. There'll be more battles, okay? But stand up, defend yourself. Walk gently, but with a big stick, okay? And again, we've got this sense of, just like the 6 here, no, sorry, it's just like the 7 of swords, where we've got the sword of truth in the middle, and then you've got all the false swords, the false truth, the lies or misinformation or whatever it is attacking in the 7 of swords. So that's all mental energy. Okay, with the 7 of wands, we've got this big fiery stick in the middle, standing strong against the 6 sort of wands behind it. And so sort of, you know, again, people and ideas and things and anything that's trying to stop you, you know, defend yourself, knocking things away, and ideas and people going to, all the naysayers, okay, standing up to all the naysayers. It's one of my big things for this card. Oh, what are you doing that for? Why are you doing that? Oh, or, oh, you're getting ideas above your station, all that type of thing. Standing strong in your fire and your light and everything. That is what will carry you through. So, that's your reading for today. I hope, oh my God, that's long, 131 minutes. God, I can talk, can't I? Sometimes getting distracted. Sometimes what I'm talking about, I am aware is actually what's going on in the cards. And yeah, getting that message across. So, hopefully you stayed with me. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope it resonated for you, either parts of it or all of it. Please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. Click on the wiggly bell for notifications of when I'm releasing readings. And if you'd like a personal reading from me, then please email me at the email address below this video in the descriptions box. Despite all of this, have a wonderful day. And until tomorrow, thank you for watching.